Today we are going to look at simplifying expressions with fractions. So this first one is something that we've been doing for a long time. 2x plus 3x, think of it as cookies instead of x's. If I had 2 cookies and 3 more cookies, adding them together, now I have 5 cookies. You do the same thing with x's. I have 2 x's plus 3 x's gives me 5 x's. So my answer is going to be 5x. You don't even have to think much about that one. Now let's look at another one. You can do that with negative numbers. Negative 8x plus 3x, that's going to be like, how many of them do we have? Negative 8 plus 3 of them. That's going to give us negative 5x. Now let's look at one with decimals. That's not really a problem either. 4.9x plus 3.5x. If you need to, you can go over on the side and add your 4.9 and your 3.5. You get 14, carry the 1, you'll have 8.4. So the answer to this one is 8.4x. Fractions aren't really that much more difficult. If we look at this one, 3x over 7 plus 2x over 7. If we didn't have the x's, all we would do is add the 3 and the 2. We would add the numerators. Well, we're still going to do that because this is equal to 3x plus 2 all over 7. So 3x plus 2x. So what would this be if we added the 3x and the 2x? That would give us 5x over 7. See, not so bad. Let's try another one that is a little bit harder. All right, with this one, we have 2 different denominators. Whenever we add fractions, we need a common denominator. So I'm going to use 15 as my common denominator, and I am going to multiply by 1. 3 divided by 3 equals 1. So I'm going to choose that form of 1 to multiply the 5 by, so that I get a common denominator of 15. So I have 4x over 15 plus 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 5 is 15. Now I add them up. 7x over 15. See, we can do this. Now, you might want to stop and see if you can do this next one by yourself before I go over it. See if you can do negative 4x over 15 plus 7x over 6. Remember, you're going to need to get a common denominator. And think about what's the least common multiple. What's the smallest number you could use for that common denominator? Also, remember, we'll have negatives in here. And so you'll have to remember your integer rules. Okay, did you get it? Let's see how you did. All right, what I want to do first is figure out what I want to use as a common denominator. Of course, I could always multiply 15 times 6, but that gives me a bigger number than I want. If I think about the multiples of 6, I do 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Look, 15 times 2 is going to be 30. So I'm going to use 30 as my common denominator, which means this one I'm going to multiply by 2 over 2. This one I'll multiply by 5 over 5. Now I get negative 8x over 30 plus 35x over 30. Now I just have to do negative 8 plus 35, which is like 35 minus 8, and you may go over on the side if you need to, but you can probably do it in your head. But if you can't, that's fine. You would just come over here and do 27. And it's going to be positive because my larger absolute value was a positive. So I'm going to have 27x over 30. Now, you know what's interesting with this one? I can actually reduce this fraction because they are both divisible by 3. So this 30 is 3 times 10. 27 is 3 times 9. So I can cancel out those 3's and I get 9, I have 9 times x, 9x over 10. That would be my simplified answer. Now, another thing that I want to point out is that whenever my answer is going to be negative, before I go over here on the side and work out anything I have to work out, I put my negative down in my problem or in my answer so that I don't forget to put it in when I'm doing my problem. Hope this helps. Good luck.